The night was crisp, the fresh snow a pristine blanket over the parking lot. I walked across, the soft crunch of my boots a comforting rhythm. I was in a buoyant mood after spending a few days with my family, celebrating the new year. As a former EMT, I instinctively headed to the back of the emergency department, eager to greet the paramedics. A glance at the parked units revealed a bustling night. A trauma junkie at heart, I relished the chance to test my skills. But as I stepped through the trauma bay doors, the scene was a gut-wrenching departure from my usual excitement. My cheerful demeanor evaporated. A holiday horror story was unfolding before me. The trauma bay was a frenzy of activity, a macabre theater. The story unfolded quickly. Upstairs in an older home, a fire had trapped 4 young children, 3 brothers and a sister. All were severely burned, their tiny bodies ravaged by flames. CPR was in progress, a desperate fight against the relentless tide of death. Though I was headed to the surgical ICU to begin my shift, I couldn't ignore the chaos unfolding before me. I joined the fray, pitching in wherever needed, inserting interosseous IVs into the tiny patients and taking turns with chest compressions. It was a futile battle, a desperate dance against death. But we continued, administering medications and fluids, clinging to a hope that was rapidly fading. The air was heavy with an oppressive grief, the acrid stench of charred flesh and singed hair a constant reminder of the tragedy. Dr. K, a wizened veteran, called one of the codes. A senior nurse, her eyes filled with a sorrow that belied her professional facade, cradled the child in her arms. Her tears, a jarring dissonance in the sterile antiseptic world of the hospital, pierced the hardened armor of even the most seasoned physicians. Years later, the memory of this case remains vivid. No amount of training, no level of experience can fully prepare you for such tragedy. It changes a part of you forever. As much as I love it, this job can be a brutal, soul-crushing endeavor. Tonight was one of those nights. I can't recall every instance, but most are etched into my memory. There are no words to capture the emotions that swirl during these moments fully. As physicians and team leaders, we focus on the fight, managing our teams, searching for any glimmer of hope. It's like a championship game, every emotion laid bare. Then abruptly, it's over. Someone had to lose. I gather myself, take a few deep breaths, and craft my words. The opening is always the same. I'm sorry, but despite our best efforts. I look into their eyes, offering condolences and sharing their pain. Years of practice haven't made this task any easier. It's part of the job. Some colleagues claim to have a perfect phrase, but there is no balm for the grief of tragedy. Honestly, I doubt anything is heard beyond the initial words, at least for a time. It's like a scene from a film, the camera pulling back, leaving you alone in a long, dark tunnel. One thing is certain, it never gets easier. The children are the hardest. No amount of willpower can hold back the tears. Despite my efforts to remain composed, they always find a way to escape. Perhaps that little boy with blue eyes I shared earlier was there telling me it was okay.